My name is Chip Hare. I'm the athletic director for Piqua City Schools, and I have the privilege to work with so many great kids and coaches. And today we are getting our media day off for our fall sports. Hard to believe the summer has gone and we are getting ready to kick off school, and that means that the fall sports season is upon us. So today you're going to meet some of our coaches, you're going to meet some of our kids. They're going to talk about their expectations of what they're looking forward to this year. So come along with us, and we look forward that you get a chance to see the Indian Nation behind the scenes. With me now is our head varsity girls soccer coach, Brett Ritter. Going into your third season, hard to believe, a lot of excitement around the season. Talk a little bit about what we can see and what the Indian Nation might expect here of the 2018 rendition of the girls varsity soccer team.
Well, we're returning 70% of our scoring and a whole bunch of girls that are very into the soccer game. I found when I came here that there were a lot of girls that just kind of did soccer as a fun thing, but we've kind of changed that mentality. The culture's changing, and I'm looking forward to a really good season.
Speaking of culture and the excitement of the game, your program has, when you got here, we were in the low 30s. And this year you actually had 50 people try out. The last 2 years, unprecedented, at least since I've been as athletic director here, we actually had to make cuts. Not an easy thing to do by no means, but I also think it's a reflection of the kids that are playing, because the culture is, hey, I want to participate, I want to be a part of something special. Yeah,
and I think that also leads to, or ties into what's happening in the nation. The United States is really seeing a boom in soccer, so I'll attribute some of that to that, but also our culture. Ashley's a great assistant coach. She connects with the girls really well, and then this year we've got 2 new JV coaches that they really like. They were coming out for summers and decided, there were people that were adding on even as July hit.
We move into, we've had a couple scrimmages already against some pretty good teams. We obviously are doing that for a reason, to prep ourselves for what is going to be our last year in the GWalk. What should we expect? Not from a win-loss perspective, but what do you expect this year from this year's team in terms of competitiveness?
I expect us to be competitive every day, even with the cities and the tip cities. Changing our formation a little bit, and we're noticing that in the scrimmages that they're not quite used to it, but we're going to watch some game film today and really talk about it, and I think we'll be more competitive than we have been in the past.
Seniors are obviously a big part of leadership. What's our seniors look like this year from your perspective?
The seniors are all really strong players. They'll all play until they can't play anymore every game, so it's a really positive thing. Well,
we look forward to seeing you guys play here at Wirt Stadium. Well, the Lady Indians will be playing soccer here. Great expectations. Come out there and check them out. Coach Ritter, thanks so much for your time, and we're going to talk to our captains here and look forward to getting their perspective of what are the highlights they're looking for.
Great. Thanks, Chip. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Brett. Good luck. With us now are our captains of our girls varsity soccer team, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves individually.
Haley McPherson.
Are you going to be a senior this year?
Yes.
Is that why you're wearing white?
Yes.
Okay.
Taylor Grunkemeyer.
You're a junior?
A junior.
All right, that's because you're wearing blue.
Kaylee Lacey, senior.
Very good, Kaylee. Picked up on that senior part at the end. I am here today to really get the information out to our community about what is the expectations for our girls varsity soccer team. So what do you think this year is going to happen for the Lady Indians?
I just want us to have no drama and work together as a team and be a family.
Talk a little bit more about the season and where you think this team has expectations of going.
I think we can win more games than we had last year and have a winning record.
That's good. That's good. One quick thing we have to mention, you tore your ACL in the last regular season game of the year. Weren't able to play basketball or track. Actually, you're still waiting to be cleared. So this year, actually, you're chomping at the bit to get out there, aren't you?
Yes, I can't wait.
Well, we know you're going to have a great year, and we appreciate your perspective. Taylor, from your perspective, what is the thought of the season for you?
I just think we're going to do better than last year, and maybe win a couple more games than we did.
Good, good. Yeah, the league is obviously very competitive. We're in a very competitive division. Who were some of the teams that you think are on our schedule are probably the most competitive games?
Definitely Tip City, Troy, and Sydney.
Okay, yeah. Kenzie, what's your thoughts?
I think that we have a more positive environment this year, so we're going to use that to our advantage and win more games.
Fantastic. It sounds like we're going to win more games this year. I have to ask all three of you, because you might have different answers, what game is the one that you've got circled that you're most looking forward to playing?
I'm going to have to say the Troy game.
The Trojans.
Tip City.
Tip City.
Xenia, because it's my first game back.
Good answer. Well, guys, come out. Sure, make sure you get out to Wirt Stadium. You can get out to the high school website, or you can get on the Piqua City Schools website, and you can find the home games. Get out and support these young ladies. They've been working hard, and they're looking forward to a great year. With us now is our head varsity boys soccer coach, Josh Duncan, and into his second year. Hard to believe. Here we are, rolling into the season, and in your second year. What's the outlet look like for the Indians this year?
We have high expectations. We lost about 12 seniors last year, but we have a good core coming in. Some new players also coming in, transfers. And hopefully we can build on what we did last year. We had a winning record, and I don't want to talk about records, but I hope we improve on, the style of play and just our overall technique, and just improve from there. You
talk about, the seniors. That is the one thing that I think is a big question mark for the boys soccer program. 12 seniors, that's a lot.
Yes, sir.
And there's a lot of leadership to replenish there. Talk about our seniors this year and the leadership that you expect from those kids, because you got some good ones.
Right. Thankfully I have two coming back, in Cade Lyman and Brandon Grissom, and the natural leader coming back from the team last year, is Jarrett Powers. He was the leader that we really didn't have assigned, but he was the silent leader, and he was the unanimous choice between Cade and Brandon, so it all worked out.
From the community's perspective, when they see the soccer program record at a winning record, that's significant.
Right.
You've got a schedule that, let's face it, it's a tough one in the league.
Yes, sir.
This is our last year in the GWAC. What are some of your expectations as we go into this year in terms of the teams and the style of play that we're going to see versus the style of play that we play?
Well, I know that now we have a target on our back. Piqua was winning games last year that we probably shouldn't have won. And I think that kind of helps us as well, because teams will be coming out hard, and that's the kind of play that we like to play against. That's how we play. Well, and I'm excited.
The one that you talk about, won games that we shouldn't have won. We snap a 17-year losing streak,
right,
to Sydney, actually on this field.
Yes, sir.
So you talk about surprises. Now we're on the Jackets' radar and some other people's radar.
Exactly.
We're not going to be able to fly underneath there. They're going to be jacked to play the Indians.
Right, exactly. And I've heard multiple things about them looking forward to that game specifically. So, that's not something that we worry about. We take it game by game, and if they want to focus on that, it's fine. But we have bigger goals than that. So.
Well, I know for us, when I say us, we say the Indians, the expectations are take them one at a time.
Yes, sir.
But we start our preseason actually tonight. But how has practices looked so far as we get into our scrimmages?
Surprisingly well. If you talk to both the assistant coaches, they'll tell you the same thing. The skill, the technique, the physicality is all there, and it's just an improvement on last year.
Josh, we certainly wish you well, and we're going to look forward to talking to our captains here in just a little bit. Now with our captains of our boys varsity soccer team, and they're going to introduce themselves and also the class they're in.
My name's Cade Lyman, and I'm a senior.
My name is Brandon Grissom, and I'm a senior.
My name's Jarrett Powers, and I'm a junior.
So guys, this year, coming off of what was a very successful season last year, graduating 12 seniors, there's a lot of expectations on this program. You snapped a 17-year losing streak to the Jackets. We were in some competitively against some teams who are probably some of the better teams in the state right until the end. So this year should be a lot of expectations, but yes, some question marks because of the leadership of the graduates. So, Kate, from your perspective, what do you expect this year from this year's version of the 2018 boys soccer team?
We lost a lot of seniors, but we just want to enter the season with a clean slate. We don't want to think about anything from next year. It's a new beginning, new group of guys, whole new play style, just all new. We just want to go from scratch. We want to make ourselves known. We want to come back and hunt for another big game, get a crowd out, someone to watch us, make us pumped up.
That's important, yeah. And this is a pretty special place to play, isn't it? You know, you've got your own facility. You don't have to share it with anybody, but yet this has got some nostalgia to a lot of people. I notice when the games go on, Brandon, people that are driving by, anybody at honks is usually a graduate of Piqua. That's kind of neat. What's it like for you to play at a place like Wirtz?
It's really nice because it's kind of like inspiring because everybody, like my brothers played here, my cousins played here. So it's really nice to have like all the history to like play for.
Well, for you, what's the expectations as a senior going into this year's team? Kay gave his thoughts. Anything similar or a little different twist?
I think I just need to go out to every game and try my best and help the other guys and show them what they need to do.
Jared, you're the junior in the group. You're coming in. You're the silent killer, so to speak, the silent leader. Talk a little bit about what your expectations coming in and supporting these seniors.
Well, they really shouldn't do a whole lot considering they're a senior. So I'm basically taking the not pressure, but a lot of the
right,
you know, and basically just taking the underclassmen under my arms to just guiding them as the season goes on, conference builds.
Yeah, and that's important because you want to support your seniors and what you're doing, and but there's got to be a game on the schedule that you thought about or you scheduled or that you circled. What's the one game or two games that you might be thinking about this year?
Sydney and Butler. Butler, we could have beat them last year. This year I think we can do it again. Sydney, we can beat them again also.
Okay, yeah. Brandon?
I would definitely really like to beat Troy because it's my senior year and we haven't done it yet, and Sydney just because we beat them last year.
All right. Last but not least, Cade.
Definitely Sydney. We want to make it 17 years for them now.
Cade, I appreciate that. And Brandon, thank you very much for your time. We look forward to a great year this year. And Jared, thank you.
Thank you.
Come out this year to Wirtz. Check out the schedule. I think you'll find that these young men play hard, play with a lot of energy, and they will continue their great tradition of Piqua soccer. And as Cade says, start a new slate that will be fun to watch. We are now in the gymnasium, and it's volleyball season. With us now is our head varsity girls volleyball coach, Leanna Michael. Leanna, the 2018 season is upon us. A lot of seniors graduated this year. We've got a new crop of freshmen. We've got a new crop of people. What's the expectations?
Oh, this is what we call a building year at Piqua Volleyball. We graduated 7 seniors last year. Half of which were 3-year letter winners. So we're kind of starting from scratch with our starting lineup. We've got returning junior Tyler Yeomans, who we're looking at as a setter this year for the first time, and still is one of our powerhouse hitters. We've got a couple of girls moving up from JV, and we've got 4 freshmen in our starting lineup this year. So we're expecting to grow, absolutely.
Well, when you talk about Tyler Yeomans, she is an exciting player to watch. And if you're paying attention to some of the top players in the GWAC, her name comes up as one of those players. What do you expect from her this year? She's a junior. She came in as a freshman.
Absolutely.
So as the 4 that you talked about, had a solid year. Even last year was even better. Obviously, this year she's going to be more than just a heavy hitter for you. She's going to be a leader.
Absolutely. She's actually on vacation right now. She is with family for a couple of days, and we're missing that voice on the court. She's not just a physical leader. She's definitely team culture leader. She's there with her voice, kind of pushing everybody, keeping everybody positive as well. She's somebody that, yes, you hear her name in the GWAC quite a bit since her freshman year, and we look for her the next 2 years to really improve and hopefully get some recruiting going on her. Her strengths are definitely hitting blocking. She has really picked up the setting position pretty well over the last couple months. She's had a couple of opportunities to really shine there and to kind of push her teammates to be able to excel in their positions to help her out as well. She loves to hit, so we need everybody on the court to be able to help that.
How are our team, and Tyler included, helping with the freshmen? You got 4 new freshmen that are coming into varsity. That's a lot to put on a young lady, but obviously you feel that they can be there, and they are very talented. How is the others accepting them and helping them through that transition?
Yeah, so I think having 7 seniors last year was really helpful because those seniors were really big leaders, really strong vocal leaders. And so the girls who are, sophomores, juniors, seniors this year really were able to grow under that.
Right.
So they're kind of, mimicking or fostering that same behavior. So some of them are learning new positions as well, or, having to step up and be a bigger part. We've got Audrey Poling, who was a JV setter running a 5-1, which for those of you who don't know, 1 setter on the court instead of 2, the last 2 years. And so she's stepping onto the varsity court, kind of running opposite of Tyla. And so she's learning some new things along with those freshmen. So they're all learning new things, and there's not really any frustration what I'm noticing on the court. Since they're all learning, they're all having to be kind of at the same level and push each other that way.
For those out in the Piqua community, the Indian Nation station last year televised some of the games. I know they'll be televising again this year. The one thing that I think a lot of people have noticed about Piqua volleyball is in the last couple of years there has been a real strong revival of a rivalry with Sydney.
Absolutely.
The matches have gone into 5, and if you don't know, you play 5 sets. First 3 out of 5 wins. We've actually had to go into 5 the last couple of years several times. It's been a seesaw battle. The Indians have come on top many of those times.
Absolutely.
Last year we split with Sydney. This year it shouldn't be any different. It should be a very competitive match.
Absolutely.
From a coach's perspective, what's it like for your kids to know that one's coming up? Because that one, they circle on the schedule. Where 5 years ago it wasn't the case.
You're exactly right.
Now it is.
We're seeing a lot of what I like to call peaks and wanes, or roller coaster volleyball in the GWalk North. We've got Troy, who stands on top pretty regularly, and now with Tip in there, they're kind of in that same boat. They're kind of our 2 big. What is our game plan to beat them? And then you've got Butler, Sydney, and Piqua, and now even Greenville, who are just really level and equal, and for a lot of reasons. The last 2 years, 2 years ago, we went into 5 sets with Sydney both times, and they're what you would call a heart attack match. The first time when we played them here, they ended it. It was 13-14. They ended that 5th set on still what Sydney's coach and I call the wrong call, but it ended up falling our way, so that was good. And then when we went up there on a Friday night, there was a lot of emotional charge because of how the first one ended. We ended up coming back from a 9-14 deficit and winning 16-14. I still don't know how it happened. I'm very excited. I didn't have a baby that night because it was really emotional, really high intensity.
And so are a lot of people glad you didn't have a baby
absolutely. So
especially
last year,
Mr. Askins, our junior high athletic director.
Yes, absolutely. So last year, we went there first, and same scenario. Went into 5 sets. We came out on top. We played them here, and it was a very emotionally charged night. The traveling trophy was on the line, and we didn't want to be the reason that it didn't come here. And so we were hoping for that second half a point. We had our volley for a cure that evening as well, so just a lot of emotional charge. And it didn't end up falling our way, but it was another 5-set match that lasted what seemed like forever. So I know our girls, they mention it a lot. We're not going to be the reason that trophy doesn't come back. So that's one of their goals this year. They circle that one and say, that's one of our matches. We're gonna come on top. And I have become friends with the Sydney varsity coach, Lauren Morrow, and we jaw about it quite a bit too, back and forth, talking about what each other has and what we're coming for. So hopefully it doesn't disappoint.
Well, I know this year is going to be an exciting year for our volleyball program. As you talk about building, we know how competitive you are, and we know how competitive this team is. We expect to be competitive and not just a team that's showing up on game nights. We know they will be emotionally charged.
Absolutely.
As their coaches.
Every night.
Thanks, Coach. And we're going to come back with our seniors, and we're going to talk about the volleyball season as they see it. Come right back to us. Volleyball season, seniors with us now. Hard to believe you guys are seniors, because I remember when you were just little freshmen walking in, and now it's seniors. That goes to show you how fast time goes. But introduce yourselves to the Indian Nation.
I'm Kami Trissel, and I'm a senior. I'm Kylie Trissel, I'm a senior.
I'm Haley Booker, and I'm a senior.
Now, Haley, before I get to you, I'm going to go back because you're both Trissels, and obviously you're twins. We have to ask the question, what's it like to be a twin?
It's awesome. It's fun.
You like to mess with people?
Yeah.
Particularly your coach, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about the season. What are you looking forward to in this year?
I'm looking forward to playing with this group of girls. They're a lot of fun to be around, and I enjoy spending time with them.
Yeah. How about yourself?
Yeah, it's a very positive team. We're keeping each other up, and it's really fun to be around these girls, so I love playing with them, and I'm excited.
The part that I hear for this group is we graduate a lot of seniors. We've got 3 here, but it's a group that is competitive but feisty. Would that be something you describe them?
Oh yeah, for sure. We are a young group, but I feel like we're strong enough to where we can grow as a team and get even better.
Well, with a young group, you guys are seniors, that's an important part. So
Yeah.
how do you see yourself as a leader with helping this group grow?
I mean, it's not like a lot of pressure, but they definitely look up to you, so you have to definitely fill that spot to help them out with whatever they need or answer any questions they have. So
The schedule, everybody has one that they circle. What's the game or games this year that you are looking forward to playing?
Sydney and Troy, for sure.
Sydney and Troy, that would not no
For sure,
hesitation.
for sure.
Why are those 2 games? What's so important about them?
Sydney, we've always just been head-to-head, and I mean since freshman year, like back-to-back, and then Troy down south. It's always.
Don't have to say anything
No,
more, do you?
just-
Miss Trissel,
Troy and Sydney. Troy and Sydney.
pretty unanimous here. Guess the Jackets and the Trojans, you better watch out because the Indians are coming for you. All right, hey, if you want to get a chance, get to the Piqua City Schools website and catch out their schedule. Games will be on the Indian Nation station, but come out and support these girls. They've worked real hard all summer, and they're looking forward to a very successful season. With us now is our cross-country coaches, Ryan King and Seth Fashner, and Ryan is the returning coach from the last couple of seasons. Numbers have grown. What's the expectations of the year this year?
Yeah, numbers have come up this year. We picked up a lot of our incoming freshmen stayed with us in that transition from junior high to high school. We should have a strong year, and actually it's going to lead into the next couple of years also being strong. Our team's a little bit young, but we're excited.
Yeah, and some incoming freshmen who've really been pretty strong through the junior high program, and obviously with those returners that you've got through our sophomores and juniors and seniors, good things probably will happen, particularly as the year progresses.
Absolutely. We're trying to make sure we develop leaders, and I think we've got that in all of our upperclassmen. So even though some of our talent is on the young side, I think that we're going to be building kids up through the next few years for sure, and this year's going to be a great start to that.
Super. Also, Seth Fashner, our first-time varsity head coach, and we should mention cross country is a little bit different. We have girls coaches and boys coaches in all of our sports. Girls coach is technically Ryan King, and boys coach is Seth Fashner, but we do co-coach. There's a lot of co and sharing. Seth, first year of varsity coach, obviously you're not just the boys coach, you coach them both. What's the expectations for you on a personal level being a varsity coach for the first time?
I think getting used to all the different things you have to do as a varsity coach. But with cross country, like you said, it's a little bit different because we've worked together already for several years, and we work closely with the junior high coaches. So it is a little bit different, but there's more on my plate as far as what I have to do. But
long-time junior high coach, now moving up to varsity, as you said, there's some differences, but you've seen these kids grow through the program, and now they're at the high school level. So you've coached them for several years. What are some of the expectations that you have with these young people?
Well, like Ryan said, we have a lot of young kids in the program that are not just good kids, but good runners too. So I think seeing them progress through junior high and get better through junior high, now in high school, I think we have some high hopes for what they're going to do.
Another big thing for you, being in the building, you're a teacher, you teach art at the high school, you'll be in the building and be able to connect with these kids during the day. Obviously, that's an advantage.
Yeah, definitely. I think with like the advisory period that we have now, I think that's an opportunity if I ever need to talk to kids about anything or make sure their grades are up where they need to be and things like that. Makes it a lot easier.
Little things makes a difference.
Yeah.
This year we started off the cross-country season with a little bit of a different spin. under the lights at midnight when August 1st came. Was actually first day you can practice. We actually had our first practice at the stadium under the lights. That was fun.
Yeah, I think the kids liked it. That was something that Seth and I developed, and we started at 10 o'clock at night, but of course that was just going through uniform, pass out, those types of things. And when midnight came, we had a 2-hour relay. It was kind of a fun team building activity, as well as obviously we got the season kicked off. So we're happy we did it. I'm sure we'll do it again.
This will be the last year that we are going to be in the GWAC, and we're moving to the MVL with a lot of the same teams. But in cross country, there'll be a huge difference because there are 20 schools that we run at the GWAC meet. This will be the last year for that. And any thoughts as you get to that end of that year? Hopefully by that time you're starting to peak and running your best races. This will be the last year for the GWAC. How does that change things for the program?
I think it'll be better because we're with a lot of schools that are our size, that are the same size as us. But with cross country, there's a lot of really competitive teams that are smaller schools. So
we look at Tip City right there in our division, right there.
Troy and Tip City are always really tough. But I think having a smaller group of teams that we're competing against will be better because we'll have more. We've already got the rivalry with Troy and Sydney, but I think that just focusing on that smaller number of schools will be good for us.
Well, we certainly wish the both of you luck, and certainly our kids. We know great things will happen, and we look forward to the progress that we make throughout the year. Thanks, guys. Thanks. With us now are our head tennis and assistant tennis coaches, Kyla Sterrett and Bonnie Davis. And coaches, here we are again. It is hard to believe the fall has come as quickly as it has. Summer went quickly, and speaking of summer, we had a lot of kids participating in summer tennis, which we haven't had that in the past. And I'm looking over at Media Day, and we've got about 14 kids, which that's enough to field a varsity and JV team. And to see where we were from a few years ago, we barely had enough to have a varsity team. We've come a long way.
Yeah, so 3 years ago we didn't have any girls, and then we had, I think, barely we could have a full varsity team, and now we have 18 girls.
I think 19.
19?
Yeah, 18,
yeah,
19
so.
girls.
Yeah. I think there's a testimony to a lot of different things on that. I think it shows the fortitude of the kids wanting to get better and learn the game, but also, Bonnie, I think it also shows the kids' commitment and getting better, but our coaches putting the time into it. What's it been like from you as a coach? You've been in the program for several years. You've seen it evolve to get to a point where you've got 18, 19 kids where you're not just wanting to learn the game, but be competitive with the game of tennis.
Well, I think there are two things. I think one was getting Kyla involved because we needed somebody at the school that could recruit, and she's obviously done a good job at that. The other thing is
not bad.
Not bad at all. I mean, one year we didn't even have a team, so we went from 0 to 19. I think the second thing was getting a racket in these kids' hands all year long. So we set up a winter program down at Tip City so they could play all year, and I think that just increased their desire to want to get better and improved our summer program also.
You said something to me the other day, Bonnie, that really resonated with me with our tennis program, and I just never thought about it until you said it that way. The last few years, even as the program's been growing, you've been doing a lot of teaching of the game. Now we've got kids that are competitive and are playing pretty good tennis that you're actually coaching in your coaching strategy. Talk a little bit about that part.
I am, and it's made a big difference. I spent so much time every summer out here trying. First of all, I had to get them here, which wasn't always easy. And then I spent all my time teaching them basic tennis that a lot of these other schools, these girls are learning when they're 5 and 6 years old.
Right.
So we're starting from, they've never held a racket in their hand. Now I've got a good core group of girls who have been playing, who have already learned the game. Now I can actually coach. I can actually teach some strategy instead of teaching basics. It's made a big difference.
The part about the old phrase of enjoying the fruits of your labor, you're starting to see that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Kyla, as we get into the season, I know a lot of people like to talk about wins and losses and competitiveness. I don't know for us. I think last year was we won a few more matches than we probably expected to. Because of and I know you're not going to say it, but I will. I think it has really a lot to do with the coaching that goes behind the scenes that make that happen. What's the expectations for this year? Because not necessarily on wins and losses, but you've kind of put a little more pressure on yourself.
Well, thank you. We always just tell the girls, set little goals, because we are going up against some really good teams. Tip, Troy, Greenville, Butler, they're really good, and we don't want to discredit their experience. So we just want to take points, games, and then we'll get up to matches.
Yeah. And that really did happen last year. We probably stole some matches from some people that I think they walked out of here thinking, I don't think we were supposed to lose that one. But you saw the confidence of our kids grow from that, and they're enjoying it. Obviously, if you got 18 kids out here, they enjoy the sport, they enjoy one another, but they also enjoy being coached and enjoying the game of tennis. Tennis is it's not a gladiator sport. It's not a hoot and holler kind of a sport, but there is a sense of competition. Talk a little bit about the kids' competitiveness.
We always tell the kids or the girls that it's a mind game. A lot of it is in your head, and usually they beat themselves because they get in their head so much. I don't know if you have anything to add, Bonnie.
Yeah, I mean, I think isn't tennis really kind of a mental?
It's very mental. It's very mental, and what I like, that's one of the things I like about tennis is that although if you're athletic, of course that's going to help you in the game of tennis, but you don't have to be an athlete to be a tennis player. You can learn how to play tennis, and really the mentally strong players are always going to be the better players.
Yeah, tennis is a lot of, talk about the game of life, the ball volleys back and forth, the highs and lows of what the peaks and valleys as we talk about. Certainly this game reflects it. Ladies, we are certainly wishing you all the best, and we look forward to what's ahead, because we're actually going to have a JV schedule this year, which we haven't had before, and it's going to give kids more opportunities to play. And I know just by looking at their faces, they're looking forward to the season, and I know you guys are too.
We are.
We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
With me now is our captain of the varsity girls tennis team, Lexi North-Sullivan. Lexi, we have seen the evolution of the tennis program really come from barely having a team to having a team to now having 18, 19 kids where we have a varsity and JV, and you were that kid a few years ago that was learning the game. I remember watching you out here, and the ball was getting across the net, but not by a lot, right?
You're right.
And now you are a #1 tennis player, a true success story. What's it like to see for you? What is it like to be a Piqua Indian, but also to see the evolution of the program?
I think it's really amazing because there's so much potential on the team, and
and you've got, when you say potential, you're talking about kids that are starting and learning the game, but now becoming pretty good where they're contributing factors to the team.
And like the new girls, just over the summer, like they've improved so much, and they're really good, I think.
Well, you talked about improving. You've got to play tennis to improve. You don't just play during the season. You played in the off season, but you also play in the winter. You went down to Tip City this winter and played. Isn't that right?
Yep.
What kind of instruction did you get there?
We had a few pro coaching, and then we just kind of bonded as a team and worked on a few skills that we needed. So
now we start the season. You're a #1 tennis player. It's hard and amazing to say you're our #1 tennis player. You're going to be playing against some very good competition. What's it like now knowing that you're going to see that kind of competition, and that you're competitive yourself, that you can compete, and not just compete but beat those people?
I'm nervous, but I'm also excited to kind of improve, because if you play someone that's better than you, you're improving yourself.
Let's talk about a couple matches this year that you might be looking forward to. What matches are you personally looking forward to, that you're looking forward to not just playing, but you get to know tennis is different. You get to know the other players pretty well. So are there some matches that you think that you circled on your calendar?
Yes. I'm excited for Xenia, because last year I kind of made like really good friends with the girl, and we were on the same level. I beat her the first match we played, and then G-Walk, she beat me. So we were
neck and neck.
Yep.
So you're looking forward to that avenging match this year with
Yes.
All right. Is there another match?
I'm excited for Troy, because they're like really good, and I'm hoping to get a few games off of them.
It's a good opportunity to match yourself against some good competition, and obviously Piqua and Troy, that's kind of a special match, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, we certainly wish you luck this year, and I know you're going to be fantastic.
Thank you.
All right. With us now is our senior golf leaders in Kelsey Bachman and Skylar Sloan. Ladies, we are getting ready to, we've already teed off the season already. By the time these people will watch it, we'll have got a good part of our season in. In fact, the other night we had a big win over the Jackets. It was nice to get the season going off to a good start. Skylar, talk a little bit, though, about your expectations of what you're looking forward to this year.
I'd really like to win the GWAC North, come out on top.
If I remember correctly, a couple years ago we won that title.
Yes, we did.
Kelsey, if you remember that, being champions feels good, doesn't it?
It's the greatest feeling ever, for sure.
What's some of your expectations?
Individually, I would like to shoot under 40. And for a team, I think placing good at GWAC, at Beechwood would be a really good thing to do because that's kind of challenging.
Beechwood is one of the tougher courses. Now, golf's a little different than some of the other sports. You know, some of the other sports we've talked and they've all said, hey, we're looking forward to playing Sydney or Troy. Golf's a little different because it is a team sport, but there's some individual pieces to it. But is there a particular match or matches that you might be looking forward to getting in this year, Skylar?
Greenville for sure, because I have a few friends that play on there and it's nice to get the win.
Yes, okay. How about you, Kelsey?
I would definitely say Greenville and probably Butler and Tip. They're usually really good, so it'd be nice to beat them.
Let's get into individual pieces because when you get in a tournament, there's a GWAC tournament and then there's also the actual Ohio High School Athletic Association sectional and district tournament. Kelsey, I'm going to start with you. Last year, you had probably one of the greatest rounds that you've had to put it together. You were, as the golf gods are, the stars aligned and everything was going your way. You set a record in the school for 18 holes. Also qualified for districts, which was the first time in school history. What kind of pressure are you putting on yourself? Because I know you like to do that, but what are you looking for this year to hopefully maybe step up from what you did last year?
I have definitely a lot of pressure on myself.
Well, stop doing that, would you?
I need to make it to districts again, and I need to break 90 again. I've done it before, just not at Beechwood or during Piqua season, so I definitely believe I can do it, and so.
Super. Well, we know you will do very well this year just because you won't let yourself do anything other than that.
You're right.
Skylar, how about yourself? For yourself individually, your senior year, what are some things you're looking to do as you go out?
I'm just trying to have fun, and whatever happens, happens. I just like spending time with all my friends.
Now, the two of you, speaking of spending time with your friends, the two of you do spend quite a bit of time together. You're also basketball players, so this isn't the last thing you'll be doing. It's just one other chapter in the journey. But what is your plans once you graduate and move on to the next part of your journey in the educational world?
I want to golf for 4 years, that's for sure, and minor in like either biology or chemistry, and then transfer to a med school and become an optometrist. So.
How about yourself?
I'd like to go.
That's a pretty. She needs to be a doctor.
I know, but I'd like to go to a 4-year college and study criminology and possibly run track.
So we've got a doctor and a criminologist here with us, so we should be a pretty wide variety. Ladies, we certainly wish you well, and I know this year's going to be a successful year for the Lady Indians.
You're right. Thank you.
Thank you.
With us now is our head golf coach, Andy Johnson. And Andy, hard to believe another season's here come upon us, but a year of high expectations and should be a good one.
Yeah, just trying to grow and improve every time we have a match. We've had several kids that play a lot in the summertime, which is good. They have to practice if they're going to improve throughout the season. Just trying to get better at the end than you are at the beginning and trying to go from there.
Who are some of the guys that you I think is going to make a splash for the Indians, particularly as we get into match play?
Well, Kyler Comer has the most experience. He's played in several varsity matches the past couple of years, so he's definitely going to probably be our number one. Mason Price is also up there too. Mason has played a ton in the off season. He's there constantly, so those will probably be the two top ones.
When you look at those two, obviously those are probably the ones that you talked about in the earlier conversation, play a lot in the summer. Mason's one that really just started playing golf with us in the last year. From your perspective, obviously playing a lot, but what has helped him continue to get better, confidence-wise?
Well, I think, especially with golf, you hit that one magical shot that is perfect. You get addicted to it and you want to get that shot again. So you get that one opportunity, you try to do it every single time afterwards. You start hitting more good shots, you start playing even more, and eventually you make yourself into a good golfer, and I think that's what Mason's trying to do right now.
Talk a little about our senior leadership. Important to have seniors that help. From your perspective, how have our seniors been so far, and how can they continue to grow and help us throughout the season?
Well, we've got Christian Sterrett, we got Jackson Huelskamp, and Matt Herron, and they've been around for several years. They know what it takes to be on the golf team, but they're also welcoming and accepting of the new guys. They try to help them out, get them acclimated with the team, really fit in. And when things are going bad, they're also there to kind of lighten the mood up and get everybody to laugh and have a good time. And that's a lot of it also. You can't be miserable on the golf course. It's going to get even worse.
Golf is one of those sports, unlike some of the others, where conference competition really comes into play, particularly at your conference matches. This is the last year of the G-Walk. And then we move into the MVL. We'll talk about that more next year. But from your perspective, how does things really, how does things change for you guys as you move and transition into a new conference?
Well, I think it's going to be really good because it's going to be better competition. If we go to the G-Walk and we get paired with Centerville and Springboro and Beaver Creek, it's not even close. But when we play teams like Sydney, Greenville, Tip, Troy, places like that, it's a lot more competitive. The kids know each other. They score better against those teams. So I think having the experience with them, I think really the expectations are much higher in the new league.
Well, as we get into our season, I know you guys are well into it now. We know good things are going to happen for the Indians, and we certainly wish you luck.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. With us now are our golfers for the boys team, and I'm going to have you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves.
My name is Jackson Huelskamp.
And you are a?
Senior.
Senior.
Mason Price, and I'm a junior.
You're a junior. Jackson is a senior coming into the year. Obviously, this is the last one for you. What are some of the things, your expectations you're looking forward to, maybe some goals of yours that you have?
I'm going to try to shoot the best I've shot all 3 years I've played golf, and I'm really looking forward to playing G-Walk at the end of this year, and hopefully I do better than I did last year.
What's your best club?
3-wood, probably.
3-wood, all right.
Yeah.
Mason, for you coming in, you're a little different. You come in as a junior, you just really kind of started playing in here in the last year. Seriously, I mean, actually putting a lot of time into it, and the results have been showing you've been playing pretty good golf.
Yeah, probably looking forward to shooting at least 2 pars this year on 9 holes, 36, 2 rounds I'm hoping for. But I'm really trying to get adjusted to my new driver, so yeah, hopefully it's a good season for all of us.
What's your best club?
Probably my driver, my new Cobra.
Matches this year, obviously, where it's a team sport. There's some individuality to it as well. But what's the one match or 2 matches that you're looking forward to playing this year?
I don't really have a particular match that I'm looking forward to. I'm just happy to be on the team, and hopefully I'm really looking forward to the whole matches. I like those probably the best.
Like playing at Echo?
Yeah.
All right. How about yourself?
Probably I'm really looking forward to playing in sectionals, which is Reed Park. That's going to be fun because that's the first year for me. And I really like the back 9 at Echo too. It's fun.
No secret, the last year we have started a traveling trophy with Sydney, playing them. You guys have an opportunity to get a point for the Indians. Is that a match? Is that something that you look forward to playing because you got an opportunity to play them twice?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, last year you had we split with them, and I would anticipate for you as a senior year it'd be nice to kind of go out with that one.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
Okay, for you as you get into Mason, you got another year. Goals wise, what's your goals to get the team rallied around to do this year?
It's probably a good goal to split it again like last year, and senior year hopefully we can get it. Me and Kyler and Decker, it'd be good.
All right. Hey, we look forward to great things, and we wish you well. With us now is the head varsity football coach, Coach Bill Neese. Here we are, 2018 season. We're 1 week away from starting the foundation game, which is the last scrimmage, and we're 2 weeks away from week 1. What's the 2018 Indians looking like this year?
Right now, I think we're looking pretty good. I think we have been injury-free, which allows us to get a lot of our younger guys the reps they needed to get better. Sometimes if you get new guys coming in and you suffer some injuries, it sets everything behind. We've had a short summer this week. We're starting everything a little earlier this year, and I think we've maximized every one of our days. So, we're healthy. We're progressing. I think the guys are still in the mode that we've got to continue to get better. We're not satisfied where we're at, so that's a good sign.
Leadership, obviously a lot of seniors graduate. We have 16 seniors this year. From your perspective, what's leadership look like for the Indian Nation?
Well, our leadership's always good. Being a situation where these guys are in the weight room, constantly on a year-round basis, and we're able to get that chemistry going. So these are the same guys, the same leaders that were in there on President's Day, the same leaders that were in there, during the winter lifting. A couple times we had days off. The guys are in there every day. They're the ones that are setting the tone. That's who sets the chemistry for us. That's who sets the culture for us. And I think we're in good hands right now.
When we look at our schedule, everybody knows that this is going to be our last year in the GWAC, and then things will change a little bit, but not so much with the MVL. However, weeks 1 through 3 this year are new for the Indians. Weeks 1 with CJ, weeks 2 with Lima, which is an opponent we've played in the past, and Meadowdale we played last year, but in a different week. The preseason, we should have a good idea where the Indians are after 3 weeks.
I think so. I think that big test is going to be right off the bat at CJ, going down to Dayton and playing in that brand new stadium. I think that's going to be electric down there. And then obviously Lima Seniors coming off a pretty good year for them in that league, going 6-4, and probably one of the toughest leagues in the state of Ohio. So I think those are going to be 2 great challenges. And then Meadowdale coming back, we've played them before, so we're a little familiar with what they do. So those first 3 games are going to be, going to be a great test for us. To be able to see how we look getting into the GWAC or the MVL season as we come through.
As we move through the season, we have a little bit different. We will have actually 6 home games this year, with Meadowdale being a home game, and then of course with our crossover games with Fairborn and Trotwood, and then our other league games. Just real quick, and we'll get more into with the coaches show. Once again, the GWAC North and our division is going to be pretty strong.
It will be. I think it's going to be very strong. We've got obviously 2 or 3 teams that made the playoffs, or a bit close to making the playoffs last year. The thing about the GWAC North is that everybody's so familiar with one another, and every GWAC North coach has kind of been here for a while, that we all kind of know each other, and we kind of know what to expect. Right. And we know, Sydney's going to have this trick play, or we got to be ready for this, although we haven't seen it on film. Troy's going to do this. Greenville's always a handful and doing different things they do. The only difference would be probably Vandalia, because they have a new coach. But I think we've been a little familiar with some of the things he's done in the past, some of the different programs he's been at. So I think overall it's going to be an interesting deal. You go down to Tip, and they've got their new stadium. They're going to run the wing tee at you, and so it's always interesting every week.
Coach, thanks for your time. We look forward to spending time with you the rest of the year, and having a great season.
Okay, thank you.
With us now are our senior football players. I'm going to have them introduce themselves, and they're going to give you their grade as well.
My name is Micah Karn. I'm a senior.
I'm Owen Toops. I'm a senior.
Brennan Toops, and I'm a senior.
Grant Toops, and I'm a senior.
So these guys are going into their senior year, a lot of optimism, a lot of excitement. Owen, tell me a little bit about your thoughts about the upcoming year and some of the things you're looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to playing with my senior class. I mean, we've been together all 4 years. We're a very close-knit group, and I'd like to keep that way.
Well, for some people, they don't know the whole Toops deal. Okay, so explain to the Indian Nation community. You got the relation? Are you related? Are you brothers? Or is it what's the deal here?
All 3 of our dads, they're brothers.
So then they would be your cousins, right?
Yeah, we're all cousins.
All right, there you go. So talk a little bit about the year as to what your highlights are looking forward to on your end.
Well, always playing Sydney and Troy. They're always big games. Getting the battered helmet back, getting that Troy Piqua trophy, and getting some hats.
Getting some hats. Mr. Toops, highlights for the year that you're looking forward to?
Like he said, Sydney and Troy are the biggest games on our schedule. I just want to get back with what he said, the battered helmet and the trophy from Troy.
Mick, you're a quarterback. I know you've got a lot to say, so
Yeah.
let us hear it.
You know, I'm excited for this year. Like Owen said, our senior class has been together for quite some time now, and I think we got a lot of potential this year. Last year, seniors set a high expectation for us, and I think we're going to meet what they set for us, and I'm excited for this year. I can't wait.
Football is one of those sports, guys, where you guys just don't show up August 1 and start playing. You guys have been in the weight room, putting a lot of time. What is it from your perspective? We're going to talk about this more as we get into the senior features on the coaches show. But what's it from your perspective, knowing that you're putting in that kind of time and it is go time right now?
Yeah, it's all year round. It doesn't stop. In weight room during the winter and during summer, we're out here every day, 2 a days. Started a couple weeks ago. We're working. We work, and when that first game comes, it's real fun because all the hard work has finally been put to use.
Chemistry amongst the team. I mean, we talk about and we joke about amongst the family here, but what is it really amongst your teammates to have that kind of chemistry in the locker room?
Oh, it means everything. I mean, you got to be able to trust your brother out there on the field, and like you said, we've been together for so long. We practice together all day. We live together. You just got to be able to trust one another.
Having an older brother coming through the program, and now you're going through it. You've seen it through a different set of eyes, and now you get to do it yourself. How's that sound on your end?
It gave me a lot of tips, how to go hard every game, every time we go out, every play. I just wanted to do and be better than what he was.
I'm sure he probably appreciate that.
Yeah.
Mick, you're a long line of Carnes that have played within Piqua football for many years. What's it like for you to be representing not just Piqua football, but also your family?
It means a lot to me. My family, my last name, we run around football. All my dad's brothers, he has 5 of them. We're great athletes, and it means a lot for me to be one of the Carnes and have such a big role for the Piqua Indians and to meet the expectations that everyone has for me. I think I'm going to be able to do that this my senior season.
Guys, we certainly wish you guys luck. You guys start your season against CJ, which will be on the road, which will be new. And then you guys are going to do I know Indians very well this year. We'll look forward to seeing great things. We wish you guys best of luck.
Thank you.
As you have met the players and the coaches, you can tell that the fall season is right around the corner, and they are ready. We look forward to watching them, and we invite you, our Indian Nation community, to come out and watch our teams play, whether it be football, soccer, volleyball, or even cross country and tennis and golf. We want you to participate and come and cheer on our Indians. Also, you can catch many of our athletic events here on the Indian Nation station, and there'll be other athletic shows and events to keep you posted on this year's season. We again thank you very much. Remember those 3 important words we talk about a lot. We are Piqua.